Hola a todos y a todas. Bienvenidos, bienvenidas a este espacio. Welcome to this space that we put for you. Este es un espacio en el que David y yo, David, hablamos en español. So, welcome everyone. We are very happy to be back here. It's Tuesday again, this amazing time during the week. Just to learn some Spanish. And I know today you are a bit nervous. You're thinking of something different. You might be focusing on something else. And I know that reason. And I hope this is gonna work for you today after the election process. I'm not gonna mention many details about that, and I think David is also a bit anxious, nervous. Hola David, ¿cómo estás?
Estoy nervioso, como dijiste, nervous, as you said, pero siempre me alegra estar aquí. It always makes me so happy to be here. Y por una hora no tenemos que pensar en nada más que hablar español y discutir elementos de la cultura y de la gramática. For at least an hour, we can agree that we'll focus on the joys of speaking Spanish, learning about culture, which is something that we are going to do a little bit more today relative to what we usually do. So I'm very excited, and we have a special guest today whom we'll introduce a little bit later, una invitada especial que vamos a introducir más tarde. She's wonderful, but overall, I'm doing well. Like I said, so happy to be here. Me encantan estos episodios, lo siento. Siempre me confundo con esos, estos, el tema de un episodio del
pasado.
Sí, no sé cuándo hablamos de eso, pero hace muchos meses. Los pronombres y los adjetivos demostrativos. Demonstrative pronouns and adjectives like this, that, these always confuse me. But that's not what we're talking about today. Today, we're going to dive into a little bit of Spanish culture, like I said, and I think first we should review our sentence from last week. How does that sound?
That sounds great, David. I'm always very happy, siempre estoy feliz de ver comentarios de todos ustedes saludando, greeting from different parts of not only of the States, but also even from England, desde Inglaterra, desde Texas, Ohio. Hi everyone, welcome. And yes, as David said, after the review, we are going to have a different, sort of a different episode than the other ones, because we have a special guest. Tenemos una invitada especial. Ella es hablante nativa de español también, y ella está en Berlín. Ella trabaja conmigo aquí en Alemania. But before I share so many details with you, let's just get some practice and let's review the topic that we had last Tuesday. So I think it was this sentence. We talked about questions. So question words. They are very easy to recognize, to identify when we have open questions, when we have direct questions. David, ¿cómo te sientes? How are you feeling? Yeah, this is a direct question. And I ask this because yo pregunto a David, o David, ¿cómo se siente? And this is an indirect question, yeah? Porque quiero saber cómo está todo, cómo se siente. Yeah. So we practiced some question words and how to use them in both direct and indirect questions. And this is the review, the sentence that we have for the review today. So we are displaying it on the screen, and this time it's a little bit harder because we have no choices here, but it's just filling the blank. Yeah. So yeah, cuéntanos un poco. This should be actually, I mean, we can address you all. So I would say cuéntenos, yeah, tell us, all of you, tell us a bit about what you did this weekend. Yeah. So what do we need here in order to have a sentence that makes sense in Spanish? So just remember, this is we are introducing an indirect question, and we'd like you to yeah, let us know what you think, what you would add here in the plan. I think, David, this is an easy one, I would say. What do you think?
I agree. Not too difficult. If you think about it as a direct question, and if you were to frame this as a question you would ask someone, you would use a question word, and then you would say, I don't want to give away the answer too soon, but if I were, let's do it in English actually. So if I were saying, tell us a bit about what you did this weekend, I could also just ask, what did you do this weekend? So I would be using the question word what, and in Spanish, we know that these question words can also be used indirectly. So tell us what you did. What did you do? How are you? Tell us how you are, or something like that. So we know in Spanish the word que, I'll go ahead and reveal the answer. The word que means what when it's used as a question. We also learned in the 2 episodes ago, but also last week, we reviewed that que can also mean that when it's not used in a question context, but here it is used as a question. So we'll say, cuéntanos un poco sobre qué hiciste el fin de semana. And we know that when we use que as a direct question word or an indirect question word, we use an accent mark over the E. So the correct answer would be que here that you see with an accent mark. But David, is that the complete answer, or is there more?
No, I think, I mean, we see here some of you giving us both correct options, que and lo que. So if we go back to the sentence, we can say, oh, cuéntanos un poco sobre lo que hiciste el fin de semana, or we can just ask here an indirect question. Cuéntanos un poco sobre qué hiciste el fin de semana. Tell us a little bit about what you did this weekend. So both of them are correct. Great. This works only when we are asking an indirect question with the word what in Spanish. So when you have an indirect question, like in this case in English, we can just use here both que and don't forget the stress mark. And the second correct option would be lo que. So well done, everyone. It's great to see that you are using these words. Don't forget the stress mark is very important. And if you forget them, don't worry. It all comes with practice. So practice makes perfect, and we should make sure that we keep always practicing speaking, writing. This is also something that is reflected rather on written form. So when we are texting, chatting, whatsoever, writing letters in Spanish, so this is very special because we need this stress mark. So yeah, and here we see some questions. Delia, why is it not los cuéntanos? It's because the verb to tell means contar in Spanish. So contar means to tell. Yeah. So it's not conjugated. We don't know who is telling what. So this is the basic form, the very basic form. When we conjugate this verb, when I use this verb with a specific person, or when David or anyone else use this verb, we have to change the form. So this is one of these irregular verbs that we need to conjugate in a special form. So we drop the ending AR and we add a very basic form and an ending, and the vowel O changes to UE. So it's an irregular verb. And I think we introduced these verbs also many weeks ago. David, I think so, yeah. Yeah, because we talked about some other vowel changes for these kind of verbs. So this is something that is very often that happens very often in Spanish. So I think we can, sometimes when we don't understand the verb, we can just extract the meaning from the context. So cuenta, this is a command. This is also something that we learned in previous weeks. So we are asking someone to tell us, yeah, what they did last weekend. So this is a command. Tell us, tell me, yeah. Cuéntame, cuéntanos. So this is a bunch of things that we explained in one of the last episodes. So we invite you to have a look at those videos as well. I think they are easy to find here on Facebook, if I'm not mistaken. But yeah, so this is the reason behind that. So in this case, as we showed in the review, the verb is conjugated because it's not the basic form contar. It's already adapted to the command for you, for tú. Tú, cuéntanos. Yeah, you. I don't know. I'm speaking with my best friend, and I want to know what, he did last weekend. So cuéntame. Yeah, and then we have this me for tell me, or nos for tell us. Yeah, cuéntanos a little bit about what you did this weekend. Yeah, cuéntanos sobre lo que hiciste el fin de semana. So yeah, so the nos, yeah, the us comes here embedded in the verb cuéntanos, nos, the ending nos at the end of cuenta. Yeah, tell us. So yeah, I think you can, of course, keep posting your questions, your comments. We'll try to address them during the session. But I think we are ready to welcome our guest. Yo creo que estamos preparados para darle la bienvenida a nuestra invitada de hoy. Un poco de contexto. Ella trabaja conmigo en la oficina de Babel en Berlín. She works here at Babel in the Berlin office in Germany. So it's very late for both of us. It's 20 past 7 p.m. here. But we are very happy to share this time with you, even though it's a bit late. Estamos siempre muy contentos de compartir este tiempo con todos ustedes, aunque sea tarde en Alemania, yeah, even though it's late here. So, yeah, what is this guest's name? Well, we can ask her, podemos preguntarle, y bueno, vamos a darle la bienvenida. Ella va a presentarse en español primero. She's gonna introduce herself in Spanish first. Yeah, this is like a good activity for us to talk to a new Spanish native speaker here. So, yeah, here we have. I think, David, you should remove so that we see our main guest.
See.
You are already known face. Oh, okay.
Now you need to remove yourself. We're playing.
Now, there we go.
There we go.
Hola a todos. Me llamo Rita, como Rita que estaba preguntando cuál era mi nombre. Yo soy Rita. Como David ya lo dijo, vivo en Berlín y trabajo en Babel como editora de español. Bueno, les puedo contar un poco sobre mí. Muchas gracias por la bienvenida, Mary. Mi color favorito es el morado y mi comida favorita son los chilaquiles verdes.
Chilaquiles verdes. That sounds very Mexican. And
It is very Mexican.
It's very Mexican. And Rita, ¿de dónde eres?
De México. Didn't I say that at the beginning?
No recuerdo.
No.
Okay, maybe it slipped my mind. O creo que David lo mencionó al principio.
No.
Anyway.
It was a secret. Era un secreto. It was a secret. Rita, bienvenida.
Gracias.
Rita trabaja como editora de español mexicano en Babel. ¿Sí? Ella, cuando yo hablo, tengo un acento diferente, tengo acento colombiano y Rita tiene acento mexicano. Yo puedo escucharlo. I don't know about you, but I can recognize her accent. Rita, welcome. For those who were trying to follow our conversation, this is Rita. We work here together in the Berlin office. I have a question to everyone. What's Rita's favorite color? Yeah, so...
¿Estaba escuchando? Yo estaba escuchando. Yo sé la respuesta.
Yeah. So, John, editor o editora de español, eso significa, that means, bueno, puedo explicarlo en español. Nosotros trabajamos haciendo el contenido de estudiantes de español. So we work on new courses. We create them, Spanish courses for people like you. Nosotros trabajamos como traductores. Nosotros traducimos los contenidos o localizamos los contenidos de otros idiomas para que hablantes de español puedan aprender inglés, alemán, francés, italiano, etc. So we work as Spanish editors, which means that we are the ones creating the Spanish courses at Babel, and we also support the localization of other language courses for Spanish native speakers. So that's what we do here at Babel, and I think Rita is a very special guest because she'll be here also with us more often, helping David and me introduce topics, have also conversations with you, because we want you also to have a different approach. We want you to listen to a different accent. We want you to listen to her speaking in Spanish, so you can also get used to her accent. So this is our purpose today and from now on. So, bienvenida, Rita. Rita, tú eres de México, tú eres mexicana.
Sí.
Y yo creo que en México hay una celebración muy, muy importante. Esta celebración generalmente es en noviembre, ¿sí? Es una celebración muy típica, es muy conocida en Latinoamérica, pero en México, solo en México, se celebra de una manera especial. So we are talking here about a very important Mexican tradition that's very well known in Latin America as well, but it's only, I don't know, it's a very, very special tradition in Mexico. It's not the same in Colombia. So what is the name of this tradition? ¿Cómo se llama esta tradición?
La tradición se llama Día de los Muertos. I'm pretty sure you've heard about it because it's really well known. Es una tradición muy famosa. Como David lo mencionó, se celebra el 1 y el 2 de noviembre. Quiere decir que fue pues ayer. Todavía ayer celebramos a nuestros muertos. Y antes de entrar con más detalle, before I go into detail on what it is, I'm going to give you the most important information. Les voy a dar los datos o la información más importante. ¿Qué es el Día de los Muertos?
Uh-huh.
El Día de los Muertos es una celebración para recordar a los muertos. We remember our dead. Pueden ser nuestros familiares o nuestros amigos. It can be our relatives or our friends and even our pets. También nuestras mascotas.
Uh-huh.
¿Cómo se celebra el Día de los Muertos? How do we celebrate Day of the Dead? Las familias hacen un altar con una foto del muerto o fotos, comida, bebida y flores. Y a esto se le llama una ofrenda. So families make altars at home, in their homes, with a picture or pictures of their dead, and they add food, drinks, and flowers.
Uh-huh. Wow, esto es muy interesante porque esta celebración no existe en Colombia. We don't have this celebration in Colombia, but it's a very well-known Mexican tradition. So as we heard from Rita, this is a celebration. So we showed this back on screen. This is a celebration. This is a special time in the year. And I have a second question, which is, when is this celebrated? Like, when is this taking place in Mexico? She mentioned something about ayer. She mentioned something about noviembre. She said primero de noviembre y 2 de noviembre. Yes. So they celebrated el Día de los Muertos, the Day of the Dead, the last 2 days. Yes. So you were still celebrating yesterday and commemorating them, remembering your death. Parents, siblings, relatives, friends, even pets. So this is all the people and even the pets that you love, and they are gone, and this is a special way for, especially for Mexicans, to be happy about their presence. They are still in our memories. We have their pictures, and we have a special meal with them. So, una ofrenda. So, ¿qué tenemos en esa ofrenda? What do we have? What is that offer? So, again, we have photos. Yeah. So this is es un altar con fotos del muerto, con comida, con bebidas. y flores. Yeah. So yes, Carol. So this is taking place on November the 1st and the 2nd. And there is also something special here, something that maybe Rita and I can explain. When we say the days in Spanish, it's very simple. We say el 2 de noviembre. So we don't use the ordinal numbers. We just say the 2 of November, literally. Yeah, the 3 of November, the 24 of November, the 15 of November. But there is something special with the 1st of November, which is in Latin America, correct me if I'm wrong, Rita, at least in Colombia, we say el primero de noviembre. Yeah, is it the same in Mexico?
Sí, en México lo decimos también.
Sí, el primero de noviembre, the 1st of November, literally. And this applies also to the 1st of May, the 1st of January. So it's always el primero de enero, el primero de febrero. And this is only happening with the very first day. With all the others, we use the cardinal numbers. 1, 2, 3, 4, not 1. But if you're in Spain, you may hear people saying el 1 de enero, el 1 de febrero. So they use the cardinal number. And that sounds really weird to me. Like when they say, nos vemos el 1 de noviembre, it's like, what? You mean primero de noviembre. So this is, again, this, this regional difference.
Yeah, regional differences between the varieties.
Yeah.
So,
and going back a bit on the cultural side, just a note, why do we celebrate both days? ¿Por qué celebramos los 2 días? Esta es una fiesta que viene de la época prehispánica. Es the pre-Columbian era, I think it's in English. In Spanish, we say pre-hispánica, like before Spain came, but in English, I think it's more focused on Columbus discovering, which can be a whole other discussion. But anyways, let's stay on point. El culto a los muertos ya existía en Mesoamérica. So the cult of the dead was a thing that already existed in Mesoamérica. Cuando los españoles llegaron, fusionaron, they mixed this festivity, and they decided it should be celebrated on November 1st and 2nd. Los españoles decidieron que esta festividad se celebrara, o tenía que celebrarse, el 1 y el 2 de noviembre. ¿Por qué el 1 y por qué el 2 de noviembre? El 1 de noviembre, as someone mentioned in the comments, es el día de todos los santos. Precisely, it's All Saints Day. En México, no recordamos a los santos, pero recordamos a los niños que han muerto. So we don't remember, it's not All Saints Day for us, it's the day we remember the children who have died. Y el 2 de noviembre es el día de los fieles difuntos. Y recordamos a los adultos que han muerto. So November the 2nd is All Souls Day. And then we commemorate the adults who have died. That's why it's the 2 days. Por eso, los 2 días.
That's interesting. But actually, I have a question, and I think Andy is also asking the same. Is it el día de los muertos or el día de muertos? What would you say, Rita?
Actually, I mean, I would say el día de muertos. I would omit the article. But I'm honestly not sure, because if it's because we Mexicans speak like we often, I mean, Spanish is known for omitting lots of things like subjects sometimes, but in Día de los Muertos, I'm not sure it's just because we just omit the article, but I don't know the exact reason. I just think it's It got dropped.
Something that happens in Spanish is that when we drop the article, we just mean in general. So it's the day of dead people in general. So it's a way for us to honor them, to remember them. But if you say El Día de los Muertos, you're being more specific. So this is one of the use cases of the definite article. But it's flexible. As you say, Rita, we tend to speak also very fast. And sometimes we just drop some words. And then we might forget them in the future, and we don't remember anymore where they came from until you ask this kind of question, like, what's the difference between El Día de los Muertos and El Día de Muertos? So that happens.
But I mean, both are correct. Las dos opciones son correctas.
Yeah. So another question, since we speak very fast in Spanish, we have this question. So, Rita, what would you say for please speak slowly? ¿Habla despacio or habla más lentamente? Or what would you say?
Well, I mean, that depends on how strict you want to be with your grammar, because both, a speaker would understand both. In terms of grammar, por favor, habla más lentamente is, let's say, more correct, because then lentamente is modifying habla, which is it's an adverb modifying a verb if you want to get grammatical. But if you say por favor habla despacio or por favor habla más despacio, that's correct. Is that a hint for me?
Yeah, I think that there is also a regional difference because I don't use despacio that often, so we don't use that word in Colombia, but we understand that this means also slow or slowly. I would also say habla más lento, but sometimes we just exchange adverbs and adjectives, but as you can see, even Spanish native speakers confuse the use of both, so we end up, especially when referring to speak, lento or rápido, we can use both words as adjectives and as adverbs. So habla más rápido o habla más rápidamente if we want someone to speak faster, or habla más despacio, habla lento, habla más lentamente. There are many options. But
I would say in Mexico, it's more common to say habla despacio or habla más despacio. And just a small parenthesis, my favorite color is purple, which is mi color favorito es el morado. Just because someone asked and we never really addressed it again.
That was supposed to be a surprise for the last part of the episode.
And I just want to address something. Morado is a word I would use. I think in Spain or in other Spanish-speaking countries, they use púrpura. And maybe some people thought I said marrón, and that's why rojo keeps popping up. Because maybe morado, marrón, I don't know. But I said morado. Another word for morado is púrpura, which in English is purple. Purple is morado.
Purple is morado, yeah. Nice, yeah. Well, you should also speak slowly. Yeah, but it's a lot of information in Spanish, so I'm sure it's gonna be also a matter of getting used to how people can also understand us in a better way. This is also one of the reasons why we love this communication, these sessions with you. When we are creating the courses, we collect topics that we believe are important for you, but there is no space for us to talk to you directly. So we never know whether this is good for you or not. So that's why it's important to have your feedback. So feel free to ask us to speak slowly. So here there is also an interesting question. So Rita, you said that the first day is taken or is used to remember the children that have died, and on the second day you commemorate the death of adults and all souls. But you mentioned also mascotas. ¿Cuándo se celebra el Día de las Mascotas?
Well, I would celebrate it. I mean, that's an addition of mine, and people have started adding their pets because pets are also a beloved part of families. I would celebrate pets on the 2nd of November, All Souls Day. Remember, in Spanish, it's El Día de los Fieles Difuntos. So I think pets would fall under that category. Creo que las mascotas entran en la categoría de todos los difuntos. So that's where I would celebrate them. But bear in mind that you put the altars. I mean, it's the same altar for kids and adults. You don't make separate altars. Se hace el altar para todos. Todos comparten el altar. And they stay on November the 1st and the 2nd. El altar se queda el 1 y el 2 de noviembre.
Perfecto. Thank you for all these questions. This is all great. So I think this is all for the presentation. So we just learned a little bit more about the Day of the Dead, el Día de los Muertos, cómo se celebra en México, how it is celebrated in Mexico. And everything what I can tell you about this day in Colombia is, well, we also have All Saints Day. It's a holiday, and yeah, people take the day just as a normal holiday. But we don't have this very elaborated tradition, which is beautiful, and it's also very characteristic to Mexico. By the way, this is not. This is a celebration that is not only taking place in Mexico, but also in some other in few countries in Latin America as well. What are the
Guatemala and Bolivia. So se celebra también en Guatemala y Bolivia.
En Guatemala y Bolivia, and I think in Ecuador as well, but in a different way. So it's a very own tradition. It has also some religious connections, but the idea is that we remember the people that are not physically here with us, and also our pets, and it's a very special time, 2 days in a row. So I think we are done. But of course, even though we are talking today about a cultural topic, we have also prepared a little test.
Siempre a little test.
Yeah, there is una pruebita. And so the idea. There is always a question, and here we have 2 options. So let's start with this question. El Día de los Muertos se celebra, and we have here 2 options, A or B, en México or en toda Latinoamérica. What's the right answer? I think there is a word missing here in the sentence. Like el Día de los Muertos se celebra por lo general, usually.
Okay.
Because it's not only in Mexico, but it's not in the entire Latin America.
That is
But
true.
la respuesta correcta es en México. Es una celebración muy mexicana, la conmemoración de los muertos. Well done, everyone. So this is a very Mexican tradition.
Yes.
But All Saints Day is also celebrated in Latin America. So we have also a religious bank holiday.
And someone did mention the movie Coco or Coco. I would say Coco in Spanish. That's a very accurate depiction of the festivities of the Day of the Dead. So, yes.
That's interesting because I haven't watched it myself.
You should.
Yes. And Delia says, yes, also in Bolivia. In Bolivia, in Ecuador, in Guatemala. That's also a special day to commemorate our death. So the second question would be, las familias se reúnen para celebrarlo. So, ¿cuándo se reúnen? When do they get together to celebrate this session?
Y tuvimos una lección sobre cómo las variedades regionales entre España y Latinoamérica en cómo ellos dicen estas fechas. We heard a little bit about regional variations and how Spanish speakers of Spanish from Europe and Latino American speakers of Spanish talk about these dates specifically, how they're different.
Yeah. So we see here lots of right answers. Yes. So Yeri is right. So A is, as Jennifer says, el. Do you remember that? So we can say both, el 1 y 2 de noviembre, or we can also say el primero y el 2 de noviembre. Es una celebración que se lleva a cabo, that takes place on November the 1st and the 2nd. Las familias se reúnen el primero y el 2 de noviembre para celebrarlo. Perfect.
And then just Phyllis, no, el 31 de octubre es otra festividad diferente. So that would be from the Celtic side of things. So no, Día de Muertos es solo el 1 y el 2 de noviembre.
Perfecto. Bien hecho. Well done, everyone.
Yeah. So, and there is also homework for you, as always. So we have our test and we have also our homework. And the homework would be the sentence. So, en las ofrendas hay fotos de los muertos, hay comida, hay bebidas, y there is something missing here.
¿Qué más?
So, we'll review the sentence next Tuesday. Don't forget it. And thank you, Rita. Muchas gracias, Rita, por tus explicaciones sobre los muertos. And yeah, we are very happy to welcome you here on board. So you will be helping us during these sessions, helping our learners, our viewers. And the idea is that you get also more conversations, more culture, and accents, dialects in Spanish. And the idea is that you share also your amazing knowledge with us.
Of course. I'm very happy to be here. Me alegra estar aquí, and it was a pleasure. Fue un placer.
Gracias, Rita, por enseñarme y enseñarnos algo nuevo, cosas que yo no sabía, porque yo no celebro el Día de los Muertos aquí en los Estados Unidos. Yo sé que hay muchas personas que sí lo celebran, pero yo no sabía mucho de lo que dijiste y me interesa muchísimo, me fascina. There was so much I didn't know about Dia de los Muertos, but I'm very fascinated by it. It's a very interesting cultural tradition. So thank you very, very much for being here with us today.
Yeah. Of course, I loved it. Me encantó.
Te encantó. You loved it. So this is the homework again for those of you who couldn't write it down. So thank you very much for listening to us, for being here, for your questions, for your feedback, for your participation. It's always great to have you here. And Davey, I think, and Rita, we can say goodbye for now.
Yeah.
We are already looking forward to next Tuesday, same time. And by then, I think many things should be different, hopefully better. Thank you very much for tuning in, and see you on next Tuesday.
Same time next Tuesday. We'll say adios, Rita, and then I can say the final little speech that I always give at the end. But Rita, no tienes que quedarte aquí. You don't have to stay here.
I can, but I can be in the background.
Okay, that's great. I'll keep it quick. We'll say, if you want to connect with us on social media, find us at Babel USA on Twitter, here on Facebook, where you already are. Quora, our space is called Everything Language. We can drop the link to that below in the comments. Find us on our YouTube channel too if you want to see fun videos about Spanish, other languages, and also to find all of these videos from past weeks where we talk about grammar and now have started to introduce some culture as well. So we'll see Rita again. But for the most part, just know that we'll be back Tuesdays at 1 p.m. Eastern like we always are. And we're very excited to see you next week as well. So thank you again, David. Thank you. And we will see you next time.
Thank you, David. Thank you all. And see you next Tuesday. Hasta el martes.
Chao. Adios.